Well, good morning. Welcome to Daily Focus. And I've entitled this one, When God Steps In. I don't know about you, but there are times that in the moment you feel like things are falling apart and God should change them. And we feel like he should do something in the moment. And sometimes after we get through it, we look back, we realize God did do something, that God was involved in it, and that He was allowing things for very divine reasons and purposes. And that's really what's going to go on in David's life. And here in chapter 29, David is on his way to do battle against the Israelites. God has already said he's going to kill Saul and Jonathan, Saul's sons, and they're going to die in this battle. And that would have kept David from being able to be king. It would have put a dark stain over him and would have ruined his credibility. Uh, and the right to be king. And God knew that. David was clouded in his disappointment and discouragement and depression, and he had run into the world. He had been there for years. And here he is in chapter 29 on his way to do battle against his own people. It says in verse number 1, now the Philistines gathered together with all their armies to Aphek, and the Israelites pitched by the fountain which is in Jezreel. And the lords of the Philistines passed on by hundreds and by thousands, but David and his men passed on in the reward with Achish. In other words, they were in the very back. So all of the Philistine leaders and warriors were up front. Then there was Achish, and then David and his men were in the very back, marching towards uh, battle with Israel. Then said the prince of the Philistines, what do these Hebrews here? And Achish said to the prince of the Philistines, is not this David, the servant of Saul, the king of Israel, which hath been with me these days or these years? And I have found no fault in him since he fell unto me unto this day. Achish goes to battle for David, saying, "Listen, he's loyal to us, and I'm convinced the people of Israel hate him. He can't go back to Israel. He's not going to fight for Israel." Well, he doesn't convince these Philistines. These Philistines see through all of that and just see the wisdom of saying, you know what, we're not taking a chance on this guy. I don't care what your relationship is with them. We're not taking a chance on him. And Achish actually really pushes that no, he's a great warrior and his people are great warriors. They're going to help us. But the Philistine leaders were very adamant, saying he is not going with us. Send him back. And so Achish comes to David and he says, "Listen, you're not going to be able to go with us." And David really struggles with that. Verse number 8, and David said unto Achish, but what have I done? And what hast thou found in thy servant so long as I have been with thee unto this day, that I may not go fight against the enemies of my lord the king? And Achish answered and said to David, I know that thou art good in my sight, as an angel of God, notwithstanding the prince of the Philistines have said, he shall not go up with us to battle. So he tells David, just get up early tomorrow, take your men and go back to Ziklag. And we're going to find out tomorrow how this is a life-changing moment in David's life before we go into 2 Samuel. But I think in chapter 29, we see the grace of God. And I think it's wise for all of us to step back sometimes and say, you know what? God does use the circumstances of life. God does allow things in life. And yes, he can step in and alter things, but sometimes he just uses things as they develop. And here he just used the wisdom. Really, we could all just look at these Philistine leaders going, yeah, it makes sense that they would not want him to go into battle. And so it just kind of made sense. And sometimes God just uses life and how circumstances unfold to actually step in and make a difference in our lives, whatever that circumstance may be. But I think for us to be able to just say, you know what, it is always a good thing when God steps in. And so let's live our lives today asking the Lord, letting Him know that we're going to live a life of faith and we're going to trust Him every time He steps in. God bless you. Hope you have a great week.